Hello, what is going on YouTube? GZTV back with another video. Oh, I forgot one thing. Boom, Clay Matthew, Jersey Footed kids, because the Packers are actually back on track. We're back to winning games. We're going to talk about that game today, obviously, in this video, but we have plenty of games. This will be probably like a 20-minute video. We haven't even gotten to the Monday night game. If that's a good game, holy fucking shit. It's not going to be a fun game to watch, but if it's close, we're going to be talking about it on the channel. But a lot of close ones. Not the most like offensive week, not the most like explosive, interesting games, but they were definitely some close ones. Some people made debuts. There's some pretty big storylines. I got my trusty little laptop here. So we're going to open this bad boy up. I don't know why the neck on this jersey looks like that, but wow. The Packers won a game for the first time in like 3 fucking weeks. So that is good. Can't believe this is the same team sometimes that we're watching. We could beat the shit out of the Steelers, but lose to teams like the Panthers. But let's get into the video. Well, obviously there was no need to get into the Thursday game, but let's start Sunday off with my Packers. We're going to get it out of the way. Jordan Love throws 2 touchdown passes. The Packers beat the Giants by 7, ending a skid, a 2-game losing streak. Trailing early and having lost their last 2 games, the Green Bay Packers could have been in real trouble when quarterback Jordan Love took a big hit to his left shoulder and jogged inside for further evaluation, but no. We get a much needed win here. Malik Willis comes in and actually leads a really good drive. I swear every time that Malik Willis is in the game, it's a good luck charm. Huge touchdowns for Christian Watson throughout the game and an absolute dart thrown to him by Jordan Love later on. Jameis Winston finding the end zone. He actually played really well. We'll give him some credit. We'll talk about some of the performers here in a second. Jordan Love actually finding his wings this game, having one of his best games he's had in a little bit. Wiley, we just picked him up, I believe, from the Seahawks or the Broncos. I'll put it up on screen, whoever it was from. He was making plays. Devin Singletary was getting in the end zone a few times, but kind of looking at things, just the performers. Jordan Love threw 13 for 24, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you're probably looking at that stat line like, that's not really that good of a game, but it's an awesome game. I think it's a very efficient one. Jameis Winston threw 19 for 29. He threw 201 yards, but he did throw a pick. But again, Jordan Love got what he needed done. Emmanuel Wilson came out, had a touchdown. Romeo Doubs had 4 catches for 53 yards. Some of those receivers definitely dropped passes, I will say that, but Isaiah Hodgins was a pretty big receiver for the Giants this game despite a loss, 5 catches for 57. Micah Parsons, a fantastic game, and we have Isaiah McDuffie out there at linebacker. Micah Parsons had 1.5 sacks, forced the fumble at the end of the game, which I know they probably wouldn't have won the game anyway, but pretty big play so far for Micah Parsons. Great win for the Packers. Matt LaFleur, maybe you're off the hot seat. I don't know yet though. And also I forgot to say, we will get to the Detroit Lions in a second, but the Packers are in the playoffs by a pretty decent margin now that we are second in the division. Here we go, moving on to the Madrid game, where we have the Commanders versus the Dolphins. Pretty poverty, 2 pretty dog shit teams, if I'm being honest. 2 teams that are definitely dealing with injury, but Jones celebrates in Cristiano Ronaldo style. The Dolphins beat the Commanders by 3 in overtime. We are here in Spain. Shout out to Jack Jones. I do believe he started off his career on the Patriots, and now he's on the Dolphins. He had a fitting celebration after his overtime interception in the first NFL regular season game in Spain. Kind of crazy that we waited this long to have games in Spain, but the Dolphins take them down, and the Dolphins are actually looking pretty solid recently. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or anything. They'd probably have to win out damn near, but they're not looking bad. Kicking the game winners in OT. This game went into overtime. Marcus Mariota threw some picks, and obviously Marcus Mariota is not really going to be built for this moment. He had a huge scramble. I mean, he was playing good in that respect, but I don't know. Ollie Gordon got a touchdown. I love seeing that. That's my fucking guy. Shout out to the Oklahoma State Cowboy there. Debo Samuel had a touchdown. Not a bad game here. Marcus Mariota threw 20 for 30, 213 yards and a touchdown. He did throw a pick though. And Tua Tagovailoa, an unproblematic 14 for 20 for 171 yards. Chris Rodriguez Jr., actually a pretty good game. 15 carries, 79 yards despite a loss. And Devon A-Chain continuing to have a fantastic season under his belt. 21 carries for 120 yards. Debo Samuel had 7 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, a nice and simple 3 catches for 52. And they have Jordan Brooks on that defense, who has been kind of a dog, so they have that going for them. Shout out to the Dolphins. I know these wins probably aren't going to amount to much, but still. Let's skip some games ahead here to talk about an NFC North matchup. My guys, the Bears versus the Vikings. I really wanted the Vikings to win this, but now that the Lions lost, I'm fine with it. The Bears beat the Vikings by 2 with a game-ending field goal set up by Devin Duvernay's 56-yard kick return. Devin Duvernay, a huge specialist. He was on the Ravens for a while. The Chicago Bears have built this breakthrough season on the simplest and most effective way to win, with a work-in-progress quarterback, a turnover margin that's become the envy of the league. Again, it's just kind of crazy how the Bears continue week after week week in these close games to just pull shit off. And these aren't the greatest teams. They don't have like the strongest of schedules, but they're still getting it done. Bears stun the Vikings on the road as well. Game-winning kick as time expires. Jordan Addison had a nice touchdown, giving the Vikings the lead throughout. Jordan Mason got in the end zone. Justin Jefferson had a couple of big catches to kind of set things up, but the Bears ended up winning, and honestly, I thought the Bears were going to win the whole time, but it looked like the Vikings kind of came back. I was kind of confused by that whole shebang, but Caleb Williams, 16 for 32. He threw 193 yards again. Nice and simple to get them the win. JJ McCarthy threw 16 for 32 and a touchdown. He did throw 2 picks though, so this is definitely not looking like the game he had against the Bears at the beginning of the season. And the Bears used the hell out of DeAndre Swift with 21 carries. That's kind of wild. Justin Jefferson had 5 catches for 61 yards. Probably a little disappointing for fantasy owners, but there you go. Not really a whole lot going on this game though. This is a very simple offensive game, and I feel like that's going to be a sentiment we're going to be sharing with a lot of these games. So let's keep it going. Rapid fire, baby. We still have 6 fucking more games to go. Let's get into the Texans and Titans. Holy fucking mid-off. The Titans are fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. Davis Mills leads the Texans to a 3-point win over the Titans on Wright's game-ending field goal. And the Texans are another kind of rising team in the AFC that's looking to make a turn. And they have a little bit more of a chance than the Dolphins, obviously, to make the playoffs. But the Houston Texans keep digging early holes for themselves. But with Davis Mills filling in while CJ Stroud is in the concussion protocol, they've put together back-to-back comeback victories. And Davis Mills has some pretty good experience in the NFL. And that reflected this game. 26 for 41, 274 yards, and a touchdown. They pull it out. 3-point win, obviously, against the worst team probably in the NFL. I would have given it to the Jets, but I do think the Titans now are officially like the worst team. Calvin Ridley got carted off. He broke his fibula. That's probably going to be season ending, which is unfortunate because besides like a Okonkwo who had 3 catches for 56 yards, I honestly think that's all the Titans have for receiving, and anything to help Cam Ward out. Matthew Wright drills a game-winning field goal for the Texans. I do believe he was on the Lions at one point. There you go. Cam Ward found Van Jefferson. They got a game-tying touchdown. So the Titans were in it for a while, but Davis Mills finding guys like Nico Collins, who has been a huge threat recently. He had 9 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown this game. They've been kind of putting some stuff together. Cam Ward, 24 for 37. He threw for a touchdown. Just couldn't really quite get the ball down the field, which is going to be costly in a league like this. He did have 3 carries for 33 yards, so kind of showing the dual threatness of him at QB. Daniil Hunter continuing to have a fantastic season as a pass rusher for the Texans. I can't stress that enough. So, shouts to the Texans. Falcons versus the Panthers. Man, this Falcons team could be such a good team, but they always just choke games away. I don't know how they lost this. I thought for sure they were going to win, but Bryce Young passes for a franchise record 448 yards. That is fucking insane. I actually did not realize that. They lift the Panthers to a 3-point win over the Falcons in overtime. This is not a game I paid closely attention to, so reading that is fucking crazy. Bryce Young fought off the criticism that accompanied his modest 124 yards passing in an ugly loss to New Orleans last week. These guys lost to New Orleans, and they came out this week. Bryce Young had one of the best QB performances of the entire season from anybody. 31 for 45, 448 yards, and 3 touchdowns, while Michael Penix threw 13 for 16, 175 yards. You can't really get mad at him, but they didn't really score. Panthers going on the road. It's always difficult to go on the road in the NFL. It's obviously difficult to win in the NFL anyway, but on the road, even worse. They beat them in overtime, another overtime game. I don't know, like the NFL script writers kind of pick something to roll with every week and like, oh, this week it's overtime games. Shout out to Tedoroya McMillan. He had a fucking fantastic game. We will talk about him in a second. That guy is a damn dog. Gave him the lead with a touchdown. Obviously, Michael Penix, prayers up. He did leave the game with a knee injury, but he still ended up having a solid game. Bryce Young had a 36-yard pass to Xavier Legette. So this Panthers offense has all sorts of young developing receivers, and that is great to see. Bijan Robinson had 23 carries, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns, so he was eating. They just couldn't pull it off. And a crazy receiver battle. Tedoroya McMillan, 2 really young guys here. 8 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and my fucking guy. I love you, Drake London. 7 catches, 119 yards. He has been killing it for my fantasy. They lost, but hey, it's fantasy. Next up, a pretty hyped up divisional matchup that honestly didn't disappoint. Obviously, it could have been more high scoring, but we have the Seahawks versus the Rams here. The Rams have 4 interceptions. Pretty rough outing for Sam Darnold, I'm not going to lie. The Seahawks miss a long field goal in the final play, and the Los Angeles' 2-point win. And the fact that the Seahawks were in it with 4 interceptions is kind of fucking insane. The Rams made 4 interceptions. They kept Seattle out of the end zone for the first 57.5 minutes. That is fucking crazy. Los Angeles' offense scored 3 touchdowns against the Seahawks defense, which that is one of the best defenses defenses in the NFL. They hold them off. NFC West showdown. You see Matthew Stafford was quite fucking happy about that one. Jason Myers missed a potential game-winning field goal for the Seahawks. Again, the Seahawks had an opportunity to win this game. It was a 61-yard kick, mind you. That's a pretty long kick. It was indoors, though, I believe. I don't know. Sam Darnold, yeah, that's very rough. I mean, he threw 29 for 44, solid completion percentage. Couldn't get the ball down the field and was throwing picks. That is very frustrating. Colby Parkinson getting to the end zone, which is great, getting through defenders. I didn't really watch this game. I watched a little bit of it, I think. But Matthew Stafford threw 15 for 28 for 2 touchdowns. That's great to see. Kyron Williams had a fantastic game, 12 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Kenneth Walker also got in the end zone. And a pretty solid receiver battle. Jackson Smith-Njigba. This says a lot about him as wide receiver. Despite his quarterback not having the greatest game in the world, he still went out there 9 catches, 105 yards. And Puka Nacua had 7 catches for 75 yards. And they got good old Cameron Curl on that Los Angeles Rams defense helping him out. So shout out to them. We got 3 more games here, and crazy enough, I thought the Cleveland Browns almost had this game. I guess they kind of did. But looking at this Ravens-Browns game, Mark Andrews' late touchdown lifts the Ravens to a 7-point win over the Browns, and it spoils Shedeur Sanders' NFL debut. That's obviously a huge headline this week. Shedeur Sanders making his debut. The Baltimore Ravens ended up needing a play they call Hurricane to rally for their 4th straight win. Shedeur Sanders finally got the call after Dylan Gabriel went out. But the Ravens have won 4 straight games. They're sitting at 5-5 again, similar to a team like the Texans and the Dolphins, definitely just like the Texans because they're both at 5-5. The Ravens are looking to creep in, possibly sneak in a playoff spot. Very possible. Shedeur Sanders got picked off by Nate Wiggins. I mean, what was he supposed to do? He was getting chased around all fucking game. The media is going to twist the narrative and shit on this guy, but holy shit, those cleats are fucking fire. Mark Andrews faked a sneak for the Ravens touchdown. I had him on in my fantasy. He was on my bench. I had Trey McBride. It's fine. Kyle Hamilton trolled Shedeur Sanders with the watch celebration. I mean, come the fuck on. It is like a welcome to the NFL moment, and yeah, poke fun, but like, that's fucked, dude. Come on. Browns get a tip drill pick 6, which is crazy. It was kind of an ugly game for Lamar, but I mean, 14 for 25, 193 yards. Like, he was still efficient. He just threw those 2 picks. But when you're going against Dylan Gabriel, who got hurt, who only threw 7 for 10 and had to leave the game, I don't know. The Browns just weren't very good at getting the ball down the field when it mattered most, and that's what lost them this game. I think Derrick Henry, great game, 18 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Zay Flowers, 3 catches for 78 yards. This Tillman guy for the Browns, I don't know what his first name is, but he's been playing decent for them this year. He had 3 catches for 52 yards. And just that Ravens defense, you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Kyle Van Noy, you got some absolute dogs on that side of the field. So shout out to Baltimore for another big win. We hooping, you might have to switch back from Carolina. Well, down goes Big Red, I guess is what they call them. The Kansas City Chiefs and Broncos game. Holy shit, the Broncos are 9-2. This is insane. This hasn't happened since some fucking Peyton Manning shit, man. The Broncos beat the Chiefs by 3 on Will Lutz's last-second field goal, extending their win streak to 8 games. They went from, I think, barely beating the Jets to beating a fucking dynasty squad. I don't know what is happening, but Will Lutz lined up for a 35-yard field goal to beat the Chiefs on Sunday and couldn't help but think back to last year at Kansas City when his kick was short, I think he missed. So nice little redemption story there. 8th straight, taking down the Chiefs. It's a division battle. This is a big-time one. They haven't lost a game at home yet, which is amazing. The Broncos prevail. They win as time expires. Obviously, despite a loss, I think Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce kind of made the most of it with their connections, and guys like Kareem Hunt were getting into the end zone. He's been a great piece for them this year. Jaleel McLaughlin got in the end zone for a touchdown. But another game, I mean, like, I was kind of interested. Like, I knew this was going to be a great game. These are 2 good teams in the NFL, but I didn't really watch it that much. I was locked in on a lot of other things. Patrick Mahomes, though, 29 for 45. He threw a touchdown. He did throw a pick, though, and honestly, he could have got the ball down the field a little bit better. Bo Nix threw 24 for 37, 295 yards. I mean, no touchdowns, but the guy was airmailing it. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown, like I said. Travis Kelce, one of his best games I've seen him recently have. 9 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. That's an efficient tight end game right there if I've ever seen one. And Troy Franklin, really good upcoming receiver for this Denver Broncos squad. He had 4 catches, 84 yards, and there's all sorts of, they had a cornerback have 2 sacks. I mean, this Broncos defense just pulls shit out of their ass. This whole team pulls shit out of their ass and wins games. So gotta give them credit. Let's move on to the Sunday night game. Last but certainly not least, this is definitely a game I watch a little bit. We have the Lions and the Eagles here on Sunday Night Football. This game just concluded a couple hours ago. Jalen Hurts' lone touchdown leads the Eagles to a 7-point victory over the Lions in a lackluster offensive game, and the Eagles know a little bit about lackluster games recently. They've just done what they needed to win games. I mean, you can't really hate on it. I know they beat my Packers, and I came to the defeat of that, but man, the Eagles are positioned again to make a strong run at another Super Bowl, not solely on the arm of Jalen Hurts, the legs of Saquon Barkley, and other marquee offensive players all NFL fans know, but on a defense that has churned out a string of insane performances. They made Jared Goff look fucking silly. I mean, the guy threw 255 yards and a touchdown, but he threw a pick. He was very inefficient in the pocket. It was crazy. Really good game here. They seal the victory with a late pass interference call. Kind of some crazy stuff going on here. Jahmyr Gibbs, electric play. He played fucking phenomenal. 5 catches, 107 yards. He was their best receiver. That's fucking crazy. I know they lost, but another guy on my fantasy. We love it, Jahmyr. Cooper DeJean had a pick on Jared Goff in the first quarter. I love seeing Cooper DeJean play well. That's just a fun story out of Iowa, you know. Obviously a tush-push touchdown. We really fucking surprised here. This was kind of an ugly game. I mean, Jalen Hurts threw 14 for 28. Wasn't able to get the ball down the field. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries. Wasn't able to really run the ball down the field as well as he should have. There was just a lot of that. There was just a lot of stagnant offense. But when you have a defense with guys like Jalen Phillips, who they just picked up from the Dolphins recently, and you have a guy like Zach Bond, who's probably one of the best tackling linebackers in the NFL, you can't go wrong. So there you have it. If the Monday night game is good, we will have Cowboys versus Raiders to talk about, and that'll be the video. Otherwise, see you guys in the outro. Peace. Well, it looks like that is going to do it for the video, considering the Cowboys-Raiders game was pretty mid. I don't need to talk about that. Let me know how your team did this week, how your team did in fantasy, your actual team that you've been a fan of your whole life, all that stuff. I'm happy with how my Packers won the game. Am I happy with how they played? And not all the time. It was pretty ugly, but at least Matt LaFleur gets himself off the hot seat. We get back in the win column, second in the division. I think we were in the playoffs anyways after this week, regardless win or loss. I think. I'm not really sure, but leave a like, comment, subscribe, go check out the socials, do all that stuff. I really don't feel like starting to edit this tonight, but I might do a little bit of it. Have a good rest of your day, night, wherever you are watching this. Go check out the social medias. We've been doing It reviews. We're going through the MCU and watching all of like the Disney Plus shows. So if I have time tomorrow after I'm done like editing a decent amount of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do that because I really want to get those shows watched for you guys. So we're ready for next year's Marvel movies and I'm all caught up. So peace out.